Hi everyone, I hope you're all having a wonderful week. So as promised, I'm making a video for you today with the 9 gamut procedure in it. It's come to my attention through listening to you all on the group and through chatting to people and seeing people at workshops that one of the big things that everyone is struggling with, or some people are struggling with, are panic attacks. Either having had a panic attack for the first time and it being very scary, obviously, walking into public places and panicking, feeling like you have to leave, not having a way to bring that down or cope with it, and then of course panicking about panicking. Once we've experienced something like that that's really scary, we're of course going to worry about it happening again. And if we don't have a tool a tool that we trust to help us bring that down in the moment, we can start to isolate ourselves, not want to go and do things for fear of having another attack in a public place, and nobody wants that. So first thing to say is that I used to experience panic attacks often. I know how debilitating they are, how frightening, and how having something that really works in the moment to bring it down can be a lifesaver, a real game changer. So first of all, I want to talk about what panic attacks are, why they happen, what happens to the body during that time, the fight or flight response, and then I'm going to teach you a very effective and fast technique, similar to tapping, but it's a little bit more something called EMDR. And this will bring you back down into a much more calm space very, very quickly. So it's going to be a very valuable tool for you all to know. So I'm very excited to share it with you. So what happens? Why do we get these panic attacks? What happens when we get all these physical symptoms that we seem to not be able to control? Well, a lot of you might already be familiar with the concept of fight or flight or freeze. So that's when we get into this fear, panic mode. In the olden days, this physical response was quite helpful when we were maybe cave people, and we used to have a lot more physical threats. So tigers, maybe something physical in the outdoors that we had to run away from. So we needed our adrenaline pumping around our body, heart beating faster, racing thoughts so that we could find the solution and the escape plan quickly. Our digestion would shut down because we want to save the energy for our extremities. So when we need to run away from a physical threat, that's helpful. The problem is, in this day and age, a lot of these threats come in the form of a spouse being upset with us, something going on within a relationship, a work environment, being overwhelmed by too many people, too much stimulus, thoughts that don't feel good or safe, being triggered into feelings that have come from the past that aren't even happening anymore. The problem here is that our body responds in the very same way. So no matter what the threat is, what the danger is, whether it be emotional, relational, thought processes, our body reacts as if we need to run away or freeze up or fight. So this is when we get the heart pounding, the sweating, not being able to breathe properly. And if we haven't experienced that before, we can think we're going to die. If we don't know what's happening, we can think there's something physically wrong with us, and it's so frightening. The good news is that in order to bring these down, all we need to do is calm the body back down, make it safe again, so we can quickly come back down into that place of neutral and be able to get on with our day. Obviously, to get to the root cause of why we're panicking and why we're feeling this way takes a little bit more digging, but just to have something that works in the moment to bring your whole system back down into a calm place is going to be very useful, because that's all we need to do is show that part of our brain that we're safe, calm down the system so it can come out of fight, flight or freeze mode, so we don't have to deal with all of those physical scary reactions. Okay, so what's the 9 gamut procedure? Why does it work? Well, when we are used to panicking, when we're used to having that inner critic, when we're used to feeling unsafe, panicked, anxious in settings, there's things called neural pathways in our brain. Every time we do something, every time we go from point A to point D, A, B, C, D, that gets us from being in a thought process of not liking where we are. For example, I might not be able to escape whenever I want to. I feel trapped, full-blown panic. The more we do that, the stronger that neural pathway gets and the faster it gets there, unfortunately for us. So what we need to do is confuse the brain out of that pattern. We need to confuse the wiring so that it cannot make its points from A to D. So we're going to do a bit of counting, a bit of singing, and a little bit of eye movement. It's a very, very powerful, quick way of rewiring the brain out of that neural pathway that it will have become very used to every time we get anxious, so that it physically cannot send the messages to the body to react in the way that it does. You're just going to have to go with me on this one, learn the technique, try it out, and prove to yourself that it can work. It's worked for me and hundreds of thousands of other people. So here we go. You might feel a bit daft while you're doing it, but when we're counting and when we're singing, what we're doing is using both the logical and creative parts of the mind in quick succession, so it's confusing the brain out of whatever it's trying to do. When we are moving our eyes around, they're called eye accessing cues. So if you've ever noticed, if you ask somebody to remember something, they'll look a certain way. And if you ask them to make something up completely in their mind, they'll use their eyes in a different way. We use our eyes in very powerful ways to access memories, to access feelings and thoughts. So when we start messing around with that, it can be a really powerful way of stopping the panic, stopping the anxiousness in its tracks. So there's a bit of background to what we're going to be doing. Okay, so as always, starting with a nice deep breath into the stomach and the chest. When you slow the breath down, it sends calming signals to the body and the brain. We can't be in danger when we're slow breathing. We can't be panicking when we're slow breathing, because we're sending the right signals to the body that everything is actually fine. So breathing deeply and slowly. Okay. Now the point we're going to use for the 9 gamut procedure is right here on either hand, in between these two bones of your little finger and your ring finger, just underneath the knuckles. So you can either put pressure on that there, or you can tap. And follow me. We're going to do it slowly once, and then we're going to do it fast, because whenever you've got to grips with this technique, you're going to want to do it quickly, and it will be most effective the quicker you do it. So, having your head nice and straight, eyes forward, I want you to close your eyes, all the while tapping on this point. Open your eyes, and without moving your head, look hard down left, hard down right. Circle your eyes all the way around one way, as if you're looking at every point on a big clock. And then all the way around the other way, not missing any of those points on the big clock. Humming any tune you want to. Happy birthday is good. Count to 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Humming again. Bang your wrists together. Hands over the heart for some heart breathing. And it's as simple as that. So whenever you start to feel panic, maybe it's in your chest, maybe it's in your stomach, maybe it's in your head, find out where that feeling is in the body, focus on letting that go, and then do this routine as many times as it takes. 1, 2, 3, you'll find you quickly come back down into a calm place. And the more you do this, you're going to be creating an anchor for yourself in letting go and calming down. So the more you do it, the faster it gets, the more powerful it gets. So we'll do that one more time, but faster. And then hopefully you can practice it and use it in your day-to-day lives. Teach it to anyone else who might find it useful. Share this video with anyone that might find it useful. So here we go, one more time. There's the point. 9 gamut procedure, putting pressure on it or tapping. Close your eyes, open your eyes, look hard down left, hard down right, circle your eyes all the way around one way, all the way around the other way. Humming happy birthday. Count to 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Bang your wrists together, put your hands over your heart and slow. Heart breathing, in for 6. Out for 6, and again. In for 6 and out for 6. So that is it for today. Thank you for watching. Thank you for sharing in the group. and I will see you very shortly with some more fabulous tools. Thanks a lot. Enjoy your day. Bye.